Yo, what up? It's AaroniMoses, and this video is on how to supercharge your affirmations using chakra wings, the sacral chakra, the throat chakra, and yes, the hypothalamus. First, I'm going to explain what the hypothalamus is, why it's important, its function in the body, and then we're going to go into the actual process of supercharging your affirmations. Now, the main job, I have my notes right here. What's up, Terrence? The main job of the hypothalamus is to maintain homeostasis in the body. And what that means is basically inner balance. So one function of the hypothalamus is to make you shiver when you're cold and make you sweat when you're too hot. How you doing, Sierra? What's up, Darvin? So the hypothalamus influences the endocrine system and the nervous system. The hypothalamus is connected to both. The main function of the hypothalamus is balance. Now, before I go into this a little bit deeper, I was always told to program the midbrain for money affirmations. But when I start to describe more functions of the hypothalamus, you can start to come to your own conclusion what you should be using this affirmation process for. Now, the hypothalamus controls, like I said already, body temperature, appetite, and weight. If any of you guys are dealing with weight problems, a lot of people's weight problems can be controlled through controlling their appetite. And your appetite is something that is actually genetic. So when you see people in families who are similar in weight, whether they have weight problems or they just have pretty similar body types, it's because a lot of the times it's because their appetite is in their genes. Okay? And for a lot of people, that's really the only thing that makes them overweight, is because their genetics give them a predisposition to have a giant appetite. All right, sex drive, childbirth, blood pressure, heart rate, production of digestive fluids, bodily fluids. It signals the body to release hormones into the bloodstream to balance itself. Now, the real significance of this to me, when I first got into researching the hypothalamus and using it, which I'm going to show you how to do, or tell you how to do, is I was always thinking, wow, if I can take this part of my brain and program these affirmations into my blood, into my breathing, into specific parts, into specific functions, if this part of my brain controls that many functions, not only that, it's connected to the thalamus, the pituitary gland, and the pineal gland. So when you start to vibrate, when you start to direct your affirmations and spells to this part of your brain, you're not only affecting the hypothalamus, you're affecting the pituitary gland, you're affecting your nervous system, you're affecting your pineal gland. Okay, these are all very important. The hypothalamus also signals different parts of your brain to keep you balanced. All right. I'm gonna give you, outside of the body, I'm gonna give you what the hypothalamus does. What it does is, which is really important in understanding how and why these things work, it tunes the perception of you not only, okay, so if you're thirsty, the hypothalamus is the part of your brain that tells your body that you are thirsty. Not only does it tell you that you're thirsty, it tunes your perception to not only be thirsty, but to view the world as a place where water is available, where you should find water and where you could find water. That's what it does. It's a very important part of your reticular activation system. This is the part of the brain where I say, okay, look around the room and I want you to count all the things that are red. Okay? You tuning out all the things that are not red is the part of your brain. This is one of the parts of the brain that helps you do these things. All right? It makes you tune everything out in the universe besides your desires. So when you are hungry or thirsty, your emotions are going to be fixed on your hunger and your thirst. Everything outside of food and water, when you feel these sensations, are not going to appeal to you the same. I know you've all have experienced this. When you're hungry or thirsty and somebody tries to show you some stupid video on Facebook, you're like, huh, that's funny, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You know? So that's the part of the brain that's responsible for this. Think about how you can use this in in tuning your life and changing your life with your affirmations, okay? And visualizations as well. It's responsible for your biological goals. It makes you explore your universe for the things that are going to make your desires happen, okay? Every time that you see food, every time that you see a commercial or you smell something, there's a part of you that is asking yourself how you can get this. What's up, Jordan? It tells you what to do when you don't know what to do. So this has a lot to do with your creativity, okay, which is a giant part in spirituality. Lastly, that I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to tell you about the hypothalamus is I already said this, it calls other pieces to your brain. It calls your other brain into action to figure out what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how you're going to get it done, and who you are going to call in your life, what type of person you need in your life to get your goals accomplished, who they should be done with. Very, very important for programming your hypothalamus, for programming yourself with these affirmations and spells that you guys have and incantations that you guys have. So, how do you actually access the hypothalamus? Very, very simple. All you have to do, the hypothalamus is located directly above the soft part in your mouth. The soft part in the roof of your mouth. Okay? So the first thing that I would suggest that you do is just touch it with your tongue, massage it with your tongue. Massage that top part of your tongue. The second thing that you need to do, it out. So you need to and just try to see which tone, directing the with your mouth open or closed. Direct probably will better work open. Find the spot in your mouth. Find what tone that you have to speak in to direct your voice to the roof of your mouth then to the hypothalamus. So if it's a higher pitch, if it's a lower pitch, if it's more of a monotone pitch, find your pitch, okay? Then after that, you can combine the two. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, the soft part of the roof of your mouth, and then okay? Just to stimulate it, just to be familiar with the hypothalamus being stimulated, just to become familiar with the hypothalamus, pituitary thalamus, pineal relationship. Very, very important. Then what I want you to do, honestly, I'm going to give you some extensive tips on how to use the hypothalamus and how to supercharge your affirmations with two of the chakras that you should be using in all your affirmations anyway. But you can just do this by yourself. These two things are enough for you to add more power to your to your affirmations. All right. So, if you really, really, really want to get deep into this, what I do is, first thing I do after I've already stimulated my hypothalamus a little bit, another tip I'm going to give you is going into a tub of water, whether it be hot or whether it be cold. Something to stimulate your hypothalamus. Of course, like I said, shivering and sweating, okay? Cold showers, overly hot, steamy showers. The last time I did this exercise was when I went live. That's why I was so loopy and out of it, because I just took an extremely hot shower. And then I was sweating in this bath My face was dry. I dried my face. I was sweating in the bath. Okay, I was getting in that hypothalamus. I was really programming my hypothalamus to do what it did, and it worked. Okay, not perfectly. We'll know that soon. But then I turned the water all the way cold, and I was shivering. All right, which was, I don't think that's a good idea for a lot of people who have underlying heart conditions and things like that. So don't do it if you think you do. Next, easy. So you stimulate your hypothalamus, and then what you do is you stimulate your sacral chakra. Yes, you can, I'm holding my camera right now, but you can put your hand like this, your right hand, and then put your left hand in your right hand and hold it under the sacral chakra. That's a mudra that's very easy to do. All right, stimulating it like that, and then what you want to do, stimulate yourself sexually till you get very, very close to orgasm. Then stop, don't, okay, release it. And this works a lot better if you have been holding in your sexual fluids for a specific amount of time, for more than a day. Okay, so if you just handled your business yesterday, just wait 2 more days, or you can just do it. If you want to do it 3 times that day, the 3rd time, it's gonna be real hard to keep everything in, but you can stimulate yourself more than twice before you do this. Now, draw the sexual energy into your sacral chakra. And then what you want to do is move that energy with the breath. With the breath. People always ask me how to move energy and how to program things with energy. Life is in the breath. Why do you think I call my group Life is in the Breath? That's how I do everything. If you ask me how to move energy, I'm always going to say breathing. Breathe, feel it, visualize, okay? Breathe that energy, breathe that sexual energy into your throat chakra, okay? Slowly, slowly. If you want to hold it in your heart chakra for a minute before you do this next step, that's cool too. I was meditating on my throat chakra a very, very long time ago, activating it and doing all kind of cool stuff with it. And then one day, it got really, really bright, and then I saw wings coming out of it. And then when I asked what this was, why it was doing this, the universe told me that these wings in this situation were to draw energy into my throat chakra. So I used it. I used it how they told me to use it. I drew energy from the wings into my throat chakra, held it, and my whole head was just buzzing. You might want to experiment with the wings before you actually use them for affirmations. Just familiarize yourself with all of these steps before you do it. I wouldn't advise that you just take this information and do these things right away, but step by step by step, separately. You can do them in one day, but step by step, separately, okay? Because things is gonna take, you should be able to do this by the 3rd time you try, maybe the 2nd, and if you're experienced the 1st time, okay, you could be doing this right now. I mean, not masturbating and all that, but the rest of the stuff. But, okay, so you move the sexual energy from your sacral chakra into your throat. Visualize these white wings. They don't have to be huge eagle wings. They could just be little baby wings like the size of your hand, all right, or smaller. And then you breathe the energy in from the wings, light them up. And then combine that energy with the sexual energy. And then say your affirmation. While you're saying this affirmation, move it to your hypothalamus. Visualize it glowing. Visualize the roof of your mouth glowing, and then feel this energy being pushed through your hypothalamus and storing it, affirming, visualizing it. And I like to let the energy come out of my crown chakra. I like to visualize the energy coming out of my crown chakra as a fountain of a plethora of colors. and coming back down, dripping down my body, and then soaking it up through my root chakra, circulating it, and just feeling these things coming into fruition, okay? When you get a better relationship with your subconscious mind, you're going to be able to ask your subconscious mind questions, and it's going to tell you. It's not always as spiritual as people think. People like to downplay the importance of the brain, of the physical brain in spirituality. It's not there for no reason, okay? You can use this meditation to program your spine. Your spine is surrounded by the same fluids that your brain is surrounded by, which means I want you to tell me what you think that means in the comments. Your stomach has brain cells. Your heart has brain cells in it. There are a lot of things that the brain and the brain cells are to be used for. This, if you know anything about the Kemetic sciences or the ancient Egyptian spirituality, you need to know that this is a very important process in expanding your consciousness and becoming more powerful spiritually. Okay, I always say the body is the root chakra of the universe. And a lot of people like to downplay the importance of the root chakra. I manifest mainly through my root chakra. Okay, I use this affirmation, I use this process, and instead of starting with my sacral chakra, I move the sexual energy to my root chakra, and then my sacral chakra, and then up through the throat, hypothalamus. Okay, and when you go back and watch, listen to the importance of this. The hypothalamus tunes your perception to see the goals, the opportunities in the world. Okay, it doesn't only make you thirsty, but it makes you perceive the world as somewhere that you could and should find water. It shuts off, it tunes out everything in the world but the tools that you can use to get to your desires. It controls your body temperature, your sex drive, your blood pressure, your heart rate, your digestive fluids, and I just said there's brain cells in the intestines, all bodily fluids. It calls other pieces of your brain to action to answer what, when, how, and with whom a goal should be completed with. Very important information. Very important information. So I want you guys to like this video. I want you guys to share it. Tell me what you think. If you experimented with this, if you are going to, let me know if you're going to experiment with this. Definitely DM me and let me know how it's gone, and if it has changed your spiritual experience at all. Well, I have to end this video because it's like negative 37,000 degrees in Chicago right now. I know you hear that wind chill. I know you hear it. I know you hear the wind. So I'm going live tomorrow for free readings. So go ahead and share this video. I might go live tonight and do some free readings. I don't know. Maybe if I get 20 shares on this video in an hour, I might. But that's it. That was the weekly water. How to use your hypothalamus, supercharging your affirmations, your sacral chakra, your throat chakra, your throat wings, using your affirmations. If you have any questions about this, let me know. You can also, another thing that you can do, you can touch your tongue to the top of your hypothalamus, and you don't have to speak your affirmations out loud. You can just keep them in your mind and chant into your tongue to the roof of your mouth, to the soft part of the roof of your mouth. That also will help stimulate your hypothalamus into empowering your affirmations, your spells, your incantations. Again, you don't have to speak these affirmations. You don't have to speak these incantations or anything like that. A lot of people think that you do. Another thing that I like to do is I like to visualize certain symbols on my tongue. I like to visualize certain symbols on the roof of my mouth. Things like that. Very, very useful. Certain colors, of course, like I said, you have to visualize certain colors and using your breath, directing the energy from the roof of your mouth up out into your hypothalamus. This stimulates again the thalamus, the pituitary gland, and that pineal gland. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you could take a lot of information from this video. This is something that definitely needs to be watched more than once. Pause it, get your pen, get your paper, or people don't use pen and paper anymore. But do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Take some of these gems and make some jewelry. All right? AaroniMoses, life is in the breath. Peace.